Okay, everybody, Stephen Key here, and once again, I have a very special guest all the way from New Jersey. What's with all the New Jersey inventors? Why is there so many out there?
I don't know. We're concentrated in one part of the country, apparently.
Well, Dimitri,
How you
thank you for
doing?
coming on and sharing your journeys because you're doing something unique, in my opinion. You're not only venturing, but
Yeah.
you're trying to license too a different product. So you got two things going on at the same time.
Not only do I have two things going on at the same time, but they're diametrically different from each other. They don't interact in any way, shape, or form. And it's a challenge, Don't do that. And that's my advice to people. But concentrate on one thing at a time.
So
So,
why did you try to do two things at once?
well, what ended up happening is the workout machine that I'm venturing came first. It's something that I actually developed back in college with a need.
Okay.
I wasn't able to achieve what I was looking for, so I did it, and I threw it on a shelf for the better part of 2 decades. And then these shows came around that were quite influential to inventors, and it kind of got my juices flowing. So I literally took it off the shelf and blew the dust off of it, and it was like, okay, now let's start protecting it and going forward.
Okay.
So that evolution took many, many years,
Okay.
and I'm still involved with it, ready to launch at this point, and I can go through that with you later. But that's my venturing product.
Okay. And that's in the back. Can you point that to everybody?
Yeah,
So they
sure.
can
So
see it?
it's a
That's back
workout
there.
machine. It's a workout machine here. We call it Twisted Core and More. And what it's designed for is an in-home gym use, especially in the age where we can't go out, to give your body a full upper toning and concentrate on
Okay.
core development.
So really perfect timing for that.
I agree, and that was definitely something that happened to have taken
Okay.
place where I wouldn't plan it, but I'm going to take advantage of it, and we're going to roll it out in New York City on some commercials very soon.
So is it expensive, the venture?
Yeah, it's certainly much more expensive than licensing. They say the reward is certainly higher in terms of the percentage, which I would agree with, but the responsibilities are much more vast. I mean, once you secure a licensing partner or direction, you pretty much can kind of sit back. When it comes to venturing, what I've learned the hard way, which I'm going to try to help all who are watching, is that you can set up a goal, you can set up a timeline,
Yeah.
you can see and write it all down. And then once you put that into motion, it's just damage control. Everything that can go wrong will. I have stepped in every line, hole that you could possibly do. And of course, you try to avoid it, but it's the only way you really learn. So, it's without a doubt much tougher
Okay.
of a road, much more frustrating and
Okay.
expensive.
You're almost ready to. You told me earlier that you have a
Yeah.
container coming to you full of these
Yes.
beautiful things. So
Yes, I do. They're coming from China, from Fujian, China, and they're going to land in California, where I got a warehouse to store them, which is called a 3PL. For those who don't know what that is, third-party logistics. They're kind of like a mini Amazon, much cheaper for bulk storage, and they
Okay.
fulfill through their own way to do it. And 530 units is coming, and we're going to be launching multiple platforms. We're going to be doing a Spectrum TV commercial that's going to launch 1 minute commercial in New York City, and then if that's successful, the second month we'll do it in Los Angeles. And I've hired a very predominant company to help me with my Facebook and Instagram
okay.
ads.
So there's a lot of moving parts here, isn't there?
Yes, there are. There's no question about it. And there's nothing that stays in perpetual motion.
Okay.
Everything always has to be tweaked as it's going wishy-washy. Nothing really goes straight. So you have to really be able to deal with damage control
Okay.
and not personalize it.
Okay. So you've got a container coming. You've got a fulfillment center in California. It's probably Long Beach, I would probably guess, down there.
It's LA, in LA.
Okay.
And they're very close to Amazon. And I have an Amazon partner that I'm also doing it with, who's one of the larger players in
Okay.
fitness for the last 20 years.
When will people be able to purchase it?
We're shooting for a New Year's resolution.
Oh,
So
perfect.
we're going to literally have the product. It's in the ports right now. And as you know, if you don't, when you want to book something, the ship is there for 7 days. So you have to get it in. If you're on there the first day, it sits for 6,
Okay.
and then it takes about 22 days to get it across and customs to get it out.
Okay.
So,
So you've got inventory, you've got a fulfillment center, you've got 500 units, you've got TV setup, you've got commercials. You're ready to rock and roll.
I am. And I'll tell you, as a one-man show, what I've learned really, really valuable is that I have to create my team. We once talked about how you had business that had 30, 40 people in it, right? Running that huge thing. I don't have that. It could be a luxury or maybe it's a hindrance. I don't know. So I'm hiring key component people to take care of what I can't, because I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at.
Okay, well, that's a good sign. What about protection? People are always like, how do you protect it? Are you protected with this?
Yeah, I am. And that's another thing that's quite interesting. And for those who don't know, the second you start a patent process, it's basically a time clock that you can't control. And it's really actually much more of a trap possibly than people realize. So for example, you do a search. And once you do a search, you have to exercise that search within I believe it's a year, or that becomes public, that anyone can use it and never patent it again. And then you go for a provisional patent, which gives you a year. And there's a guy that I want to give a shout out to, if you don't mind. I think you're familiar with him, but he has gotten me 5 out of 6 patents issued, and it's Kevin Prince. Okay.
Oh, Kevin.
Quickpatents.com.
Well, I'm really glad you said that, because a video just launched today with Kevin Prince.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah, and he's a wonderful guy, and I want everybody to realize he watch the video. He's smart. He's affordable. He does a great job. So
absolutely, and he's a patent agent, and people need to realize that there's a difference, and that's why he's affordable. Yeah. And as I said, we have gotten 5 out of 6. Launched and successfully issued. So
well, that's wonderful, and he's a good guy. And I met him. He started his own inventors group back in Orange County years ago. So he's one of us.
Oh, absolutely. He's an incredible human being. I don't know if you know personally, and I hope he doesn't mind, and I'll keep it a little ambiguous, but he has 3 of his own children.
I know.
And then he wanted to go out and adopt a family, and the criteria was more than 5 orphans. And he got a family of 6 kids, and I was like,
no, he is. Man. No, he's a good guy. So
wait, let me get back if you don't mind, because once you do that provisional patent, you have then a year to make all the changes that you want, and then it becomes a non-provisional.
So you're spending money on IP. Are you protecting it any place else beside the U.S.?
Yes, I
am. Come on, Dimitri, you're really going for the brass ring here.
Well, here's the last part of this time bomb. Once you become provisionally patented or non-provisionally patented, you have to declare whether or not you intend on notifying the international community.
That's right.
And then once you do that, it starts another time clock that you have to get all these patents. And here's the kicker that's really got me pissed off, but you'll understand. These countries can take up to 4 years to issue you the patent, but you have to pay maintenance fees annually for something you might not even get.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
It is. So it's just like, and then Japan for itself, I'm patented there. They're incredibly expensive.
Okay.
Europe is relatively affordable. But
so how are you financing all this? Are you must have what do you have, a trust fund or what's going on with this? How are you doing all this?
My background as an inventor is certainly something that we talk about, but I mean, my blood, sweat, and tears company is in 1992. I opened up a burglar and fire alarm installation and monitoring company out of Bergen County, New Jersey. So over the course of 20 some odd plus years, it's afforded me the opportunity, and I am self-financed, which is intentional because I don't want to take on partners right now if I can help it.
All right, so it takes some money. It does.
It does. It's much more expensive than licensing. Licensing is something that if you were able to get yourself some good sales sheets and some organizational skills, you can do it for a hell of a lot cheaper, and that's what you guys help us with.
Well, let's jump over to the other side, licensing now, because I love that you're playing both of these. And are you sleeping well at night?
It's funny. I go to sleep pretty early, but I also wake up at 4:35 without an alarm clock, and I do get a chance to email back and forth with China. Oh, by the way, one last thing before we go to licensing is, when you venture and you need to deal with China, it takes so long for anything to happen. If they ask me a question, do you want it red or blue? And I come in at 9 o'clock in the morning, well, that's 9:30 at night or 10 o'clock their time. So I say, yes, blue is great. And then another day goes by. Royal blue, sky blue, royal blue. So it takes 4 days to get one question answered, and it's a very difficult thing. So that's another negative part of venturing, because you're going to build it in China most likely.
All right, let's look at your the product you're going to license. This is pretty cool.
Okay. All right, so I'll give you the 30-second elevator pitch on this so they get it. So this here is arts and crafts kit, but the premise behind it is it's a hair accessory that comes in 2 parts. A base cone that goes into the user's hair to create a ponytail, and this kit comes with 4 blank covers that allow you to customize, each cover with utilizing either these markers or on the back, we give you a whole bunch of stickers and we give you a template that you can trace your own. So this is basically a do-it-yourself arts and crafts kit, which is what we call Tier 1. Tier 2 is what we call the 2-cover fun packs, which is similar product, but this in the center would be something like the American flag, and then you'd have, you know, a Disney character, Pocahontas or a Little Mermaid or the Giants and the Jets or whatever you'd want. And this is a 2-cover fun pack. And then we finally have an LED version, which is pretty cool. And this is something that's taking a lot of people's attention because, as you can imagine, the things that you can do with this are totally endless. I'm putting it up really close so you can actually see the color saturation. When you pull it away, it gets a little bled out. But this is a cone that can be synced in a concert-like setting where you can have it so that all the people in the audience are coinciding with the dancer. And that product right there, I want to license, and it's a much more affordable product.
Okay. Well, your packaging looks spectacular. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I always like a package that you see how it works. I mean, you can look at it. I mean, your clamshell that shows it on the young girl's hair. I mean, great packaging. Great job.
I find myself on understanding that. It's important.
I really like the aspects of the lights too. Very cool.
Yeah, well, the light one is incredible. And by the way, that is also patent issued in the United States. And guess what? I'm worldwide patent pending in all these other countries for that. So when you talk about spending a lot of money, let's just say that it's certainly night and day between licensing and venturing.
But you're still spending a lot of money. I mean, that patent, you're doing worldwide on this one. Worldwide on this one too. Worldwide
in Europe, China, and Hong Kong. I couldn't afford the other countries just because I really was kind of growing thin.
You really want to own the world with these, don't you?
I do, because this right here is a great opportunity. This LED version one, allows you to protect it on just so many different levels, so that truly artists, raves, dance parties, high school girl cliques.
Once they come back, but they are coming back.
They are.
So Dimitri, you really get your hands full, don't you?
I do, and I'm looking for one of these to hopefully hit, because the funny thing is that I can then divert a little bit of energy to the other one, and I have at least another dozen, inventions that have been in my head going back as far as 15 to 17 years. And
I understand the fitness. That makes perfect sense.
Right.
But the woman's hair accessories, a guy invented that. What's up with that?
Well, I'll tell you the story, and most people are not aware of it. And I actually have the original here, so we're going to let the world know about this. This original product right here, I'm going to try to put it in the camera. Okay. Was out, and it's a similar one where it has a comb, but it's just a singular unit. That came out in 1987. My father was involved with that because his partnership with the people in France that made it was called Lacone, needed a back-end person with logistics to be able to ship and everything. So that was my father's thing. So they ended up selling 85,000 of those units to Macy's and Bloomingdale's.
Okay.
For $1.27 million in 1987 for 18.
So that's got a track record. That's going to sell.
Yes, it will, because this was $14.95 as a singular unit in Macy's. Now realize this. Once again, I put it. This is the last unit that I had, and I was watching these shows, getting the juices going, and I said to myself, this was called cracked marble. And I felt like, wow, this looks really dated, okay? It really does look dated. So let me take a piece of paper, wrap it around, cut it, make it look good, and I started drawing little bonsai trees and little stars and shooting things. And I don't know why, but I turned it upside down, and then the cover fell off. And that was like my aha moment. I was like, oh, my God, interchangeable covers with a base cone opens up doors for all different kinds of fashion. What about young girls, arts and crafts kits, blah, blah, blah. And then like anything I can get people away from the cell phone, I was all for it. So that started the whole, oh my God, we relaunched this in a different way 27, 30 years later, whatever it was.
Okay. Dimitri, you're busy. You're a busy guy.
Try to be, yeah.
What I'd like to do is have you back on.
Okay.
When things start to happen again. I want to bring you back on when you're up and selling. It's the first of the year. What's going on? I want to follow up with what is your equipment called? It's
called Twist-A-Core, and we've also trademarked that, and we're trademarking Twist-A-Core and more. But if you go to twistacore.com, you can see everything and you can get there. We obviously, the shopping cart is not live just yet, but we can definitely get some stuff. I would love to come back. I think it would be a great opportunity to kind of fill you in.
I think I think a follow-up would be amazing. Okay, you
that's
got it.
great.
What's going on? Tell me this. Now, we know some of this is tough to do. You made some mistakes along the way. What's the big picture that you've learned that you could share with everybody?
That you got to have thick skin, and that no matter whether you license or you venture in this industry or profession that we've chosen, there is so much rejection that you can't personalize it. And the way I look at it, I know it sounds kind of funny to say, but for every rejection I get, I'm that much closer to a yes.
Okay.
Because it's just a mathematical number. So you really got to understand that if you're passionate, it takes time. Enjoy the journey even when it sucks.
Okay.
Because it's part of the whole game. It really is.
Okay.
You know, that to me is what's important, I think.
Well, this is going to be a fun journey. We'll follow up with your equipment. We'll follow up with the hair accessory and see where this goes, because this is pretty exciting. You're doing a great job. Congratulations. Well,
thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, I think the platform also that you provide, I want to give a shout out to you guys, because you know what? It's people like you and the forum that you've created that allows people like us to not only learn, but to be inspired. And in certain respects, kind of, you know, we get that day of a dream, you know, we can do this, you know, and a lot of times you need that little extra push. And I'm telling you, people out there who are going to eventually come on board to view, awesome platform. And we thank you, all of us, even if we don't personally say it. Hey, quick question. You mind if I throw this on Facebook?
Sure.
A little link so that they can look at the video when you make it public?
Oh, absolutely. We'll let you share it everywhere. We'll give you a heads up when this thing goes live. But thank you very much for all your hard work, your dedication. You're a positive guy. You're making it happen, and I think this journey will help others.
Listen, that's great. If I can teach something and learn at the same time, then you know what? It's a double win for everybody. So once again, listen, I want you to stay safe. Obviously, the holiday seasons are coming up. We'll talk. I'll keep you in the loop in terms of telling you how progress is, and once the stuff lands.
Okay. All right.
Sky's the limit, man.
Dimitri, great job. Thank you very much. Everybody, subscribe down below. Tell your friends. If you got an idea, get off that couch. Do something. Either venture, license, whatever. Educate yourself. Stephen Key here. See you next time.
All right, guys. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye.